At just 23 years old, completing a creative writing course at the U of T, Téa Mutonji landed a book deal. Remarkable. But what's even more remarkable is her book, Shut Up, You're Pretty, is a collection of short stories that was put together and inspired by Téa's conversations with the women in her life and in her community. And last year, she was named a winner of the Trillium Book Award. And she's our guest this morning. Great to speak with you this morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to meet you. First of all, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been quite the experience.
I can't imagine. We're going to talk about some of that experience right now. You've learned to set boundaries along the way. Writing as a woman of color, you've said you can run into a lot of uh, emotional work as well as a creative work as well. What was something that you learned about yourself?
I definitely learned that I can't always be a safe place for everyone in my life, for my readers, or in the industry. And I had to sort of accept that in order to preserve myself and also to be there for my community, right? To know my own limitations so I could be a writer when I need to be, and then Téa when I'm not writing.
You learned a lot about womanhood as a collective. And again, this book, Shut Up, You're Pretty, is a collection of short stories. I'm going to ask you about the title in a second. Um, you looked up to a lot of women and you've taken in a lot of stories along the way. What do you want young women looking up to you to take away?
My mother told me last year, she asked me when that I become super obsessed with like self-improvement, that I was not really living my life anymore. And I think that would be the message I would give to young people is don't get so consumed with being a certain version of yourself that you sort of forget to be who you are. And that goes to healing as well. Like don't be so obsessed with healing or getting to the next step that you miss out on all the good stuff happening right now.
Oh, that is such great advice. Be in the present and be in the now, especially right now. We're all looking for ways to escape.
Yeah, I'm binge watching a lot of romantic comedies, so that's my thing.
Bridgerton, maybe. I'm just saying. You wrote this book
Absolutely.
at the height. Absolutely. Yeah, that's good escapism. You wrote this book at the height of the Me Too movement this summer. And I really like how you phrase it that you sometimes write not just for work, but you also write as a form of self care. How does that help?
Mhm. Yeah, I the way in which I exist in the world is through my writing, and that was true even before I began publishing. And during the Me Too movement of the summer, I almost forgot that I saw that the own grief that I was experiencing in real time was sort of steeping through my manuscript in a way that it doesn't belong. And I had to kind of pull back and realize that no, I needed to process, I needed to grieve, and I needed to be present with the privacy of my own world on paper before I can go back to my manuscript so that I can deal with what I'm feeling with the world as we're currently experiencing it, and also have the world that I've created for my characters be theirs.
Hmm. I Before we get on to what you're doing next, I want to ask you about the title. Where does it come from?
Um, I had a friend, her name is Emma. She actually just yelled that title to me one day when we were at work. We used to be bartenders, waitresses at a restaurant, and I was complaining and crying that I didn't have a title. And Emma, who had heard me for about a year now, titleless, she sort of turned around and she said, "Shut up, you're pretty, you'll figure it out." And then she walked away. And I feel like that's kind of how Loli lives her life, right? It's very much like she's supposed to figure things out like that.
I love that. I love the story behind that. One of the next projects that you're working on deals with friendships.
Ah.
And, on the show and personally, people have taken a good look at friendships. What does friendship mean when you can't always get together, when you can't be together in person? Who do you choose to spend
Mhm.
your time with? And how do those friendships change or evolve with the pressure of a global pandemic? Why did you choose friendship?
I started friendship a little bit with Shut Up You're Pretty, but because it wasn't the focus, I had to sort of let go of that theme. But there's so much codependency and intimacy and like hyper connectivity with friendship, and I really wanted to get dirty with that, and especially experiencing the pandemic and how we've had to adjust to technology in order to communicate and to still maintain our friendships. That to me is fascinating. It like I feel closer to my friends that I've had my entire life, and I don't get to see them
Hmm.
almost ever. And I live by myself, so there's this gap in the way I communicate, and yet I feel like they're always here. So I'm definitely going to look into that
Hmm.
with my next projects.
Oh, I cannot wait to see what you're going to do. Congratulations on your present success. Can't wait to see what comes for you. Thanks for being with us, Taya.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.